The parrot kept swearing, and every time the owner tried to stop it, the parrot responded with even more vulgar words. Sometimes, the parrot would insult customers, and the owner would always have to explain that he didn't teach it to do so. Until one day, an elderly woman wanted to buy the parrot because her husband had recently passed away and had been a foul-mouthed man. But the parrot was not happy about moving to a new home. It kept insulting the old woman along the way. Soon, the woman couldn't stand it anymore and released the parrot from its cage. Strangely, the parrot seemed unable to fly. After taking just a few steps, it was nearly hit by a bicycle. This time, the parrot finally stopped cursing and anxiously told the old woman that there was a little girl waiting for it at home. The old woman picked up the parrot from the ground and agreed to take it home. This time, the parrot finally expressed its gratitude to the elderly woman. The little girl's home wasn't far away, and they arrived quickly by taxi. When the parrot saw the house, it danced with excitement. Unfortunately, the house was empty and already had a for sale sign. At this point, the parrot's mood darkened, and it stood there in silence. The old woman tried to comfort the parrot by saying that it seemed the girl had moved to Los Angeles, which was on the other side of the country. But the parrot did not intend to give up. It spoke again, hoping that the old woman would help it. But the old woman refused it because her body could no longer sustain such a long journey. From that moment on, the parrot refused to eat, even when its favorite food was placed before it. The old woman was deeply moved by what she saw, so she made a bold decision to go to Los Angeles with the parrot. And so, their journey to Los Angeles began. The old woman's decision was not a whim. When she was young, she and her husband traveled around the country. But her husband has now passed away, and her life was originally dark. But the appearance of the parrot made her decide to complete one last journey. But the long journey proved too much for the old woman, and they nearly collided with a truck. Fortunately, they escaped. But the old woman sensed something was wrong, so she went to the hospital for a checkup. Sure enough, the old woman had problems with her eyes and might go blind soon. She regretfully told the parrot the news and then demanded it learn to fly so it could make its way to Los Angeles. After saying that, she returned to the car silently. But the parrot had long regarded the old woman as one of its own family members, and it did not want the old woman to die alone. So, it decided to stay with the old woman and become her eyes. From then on, it never left the old woman and described everything it saw to her. One day, long after, the old woman died in her sleep. The parrot was heartbroken. When it saw the picture the old woman had drawn of it, it decided to learn to fly. It knew that if it wanted to find the little girl, it had to overcome its fear of heights. After a long struggle, it finally learned to fly. When it took to the sky for the first time, the feeling of flight made it forget its fear. Next, it will fly all the way in the direction of the setting sun. In case anyone's wondering, the movie is called Polly.